Hello, and welcome to this eSchool Media webcast. My name is Andrew Barber, and I'm a senior contributing editor here at eSchool Media, and I'll be acting as the moderator for today's presentation, which is sponsored by SchoolDude. And over the next hour, we're going to talk about the current state of IT departments and some of the challenges they face, and I'm sure most of you are all too aware of some of those. And then we're going to focus on how automation can help you transform your IT department from good to great. Now, before I introduce our speaker and we dive into that discussion, I just want to take a few moments to highlight a couple of items about the console we're using today. First, we are recording the event, and in a couple of days, we'll send out an email to everyone that contains a link to the recorded event. And you'll also be able to download a PDF of the presentation from that same email. And second, please ask questions. Don't feel as if you have to wait until the end. At any point during the presentation, if you have a question, just type it into the Q&A box on your console and hit the submit button. And I'm sure we'll have about 5 or 10 minutes at the end when our speaker can answer your question. We also have a chat function, which you can find. It's down at the bottom of your screen. It's the blue icon in the toolbar at the bottom of your screen. Please use chat to start a discussion among fellow audience members, or to contact me or the eSchool Media team if you have any technical problems with the console as it goes forward. But I do have one favor to ask of you. Please don't use the chat function to ask our speaker questions. He's simply not going to have time while he's giving his presentation to monitor the chat. So if you have a question for him, please use the Q&A panel instead. And with that out of the way, let me formally introduce you to today's speaker, Josh Green. Josh is an applications engineer at SchoolDude, where he has worked since 2014. And Josh conducts product demonstrations for clients, does consulting for partners, researches product ideas and needs, and moderates a variety of online webcasts on the topic of IT and technology. Welcome, Josh. It's a pleasure to have you here.
Hey, thanks, Andrew. Appreciate it. All right, yeah, we'll go ahead and get started. So I do want to echo again, I want to thank everyone again for your time today. Really appreciate it. We call this Friday Eve here on this Thursday. So I always thought that was an interesting way to call our Thursdays. So the weekend's almost ahead of us, but I appreciate everyone's time today. So we'll go ahead and get started. A little background about Dude Solutions, specifically SchoolDude. We are the world's largest educational operations database. We have almost 7,000 educational institutions using us. In fact, you've probably heard of us before. You might be using us in one way, shape, or form, or you might have a neighboring district or a school or university, higher education organization using us. But we serve 2.5 million professionals, actually serve 37 million students. In 2017 alone, we do have a maintenance work order system, and that's kind of how we started in 1999, so we're about 2 decades old. But we processed 35.5 million work orders. The IT side of things is growing here at Dude Solutions, and processing more and more IT incidents for all of our clients, or helping them streamline the processing of IT incidents, and we processed over 3 million IT incidents. We have an event scheduling solution. We've helped book 8.7 million events for internal events as well as external events from the community. And as far as energy management, we've helped folks with 1 billion of their utility expenses. We help them manage them and recognize a lot of saving potentials in their energy. But last, we're here to talk about technology, so we'll move on forward here. So the current technology landscape, and all this information was collected over the last couple of years through COSIN leadership surveys and internal surveys with clients. But as we all know, technology is very, very pervasive in our world. Teachers agree that technology plays a significant role in their classroom. 96% of teachers say that. I'm curious what the other 4% might say about that. 69% claim open resources are used more than textbooks. And I'm not very old, but I do live in a world where learning online was very, it wasn't as significant as it is today. We were using paper and kind of tactile things. Now everything's on the internet. You don't really need paper, and it's really nice actually because it's a kind of a green initiative. We're saving a lot of paper, but also technology is essentially made to break. So we're dealing with technologies that could potentially lead to some issues. 83% use technology in the classroom to deliver whole group instruction, and 78% use technology to communicate directly with parents. We all have smartphones, we all have tablets, and we're using them to communicate. And it's almost like an afterthought. We're not even thinking about it, but smartphones or our devices are always around us. We rely on them every single day. 59% schools that use technology in the classroom every single day. 60% schools that use laptops, desktops in the classroom every day. Now, when we talk about laptops and desktops, that can be broken down into a variety of different types of desktops and laptops. We got Chromebooks that are so pervasive now in education. Seems like iPads are not necessarily going away, but there's always different players in the world, in the landscape, and Google and the Chromebook world is really taken over. 84% have regular access to wireless broadband internet for a majority of campus, and 71% need a department dedicated solely to technology in the classrooms. So you actually need a staff, you need to pay people to actually dedicate to keeping and managing all of the IT that's going on, either through learning or through operational IT. 87% of IT leaders don't feel that staffing is matched to their needs. So we have so much work to do, but we always have fires that we have to put out. I do demos on a regular basis, as we talked about at the beginning. I've been doing demos for SchoolDude since 2014, and I can't tell you how many times I get on a call with an IT director or an IT person, and they have to deal with 2, 3, 4, 5 fires while I'm on the phone with them. So we're having to do much more with much less. 60% of IT leaders spend time on reactive work instead of proactive. Like I was saying, we're having to put out fires. 25% of IT teams have received a budget increase to cover additional resources. Now, there can be unique ways to pull budgets from different areas, but the truth is right now is that we're not getting enough money. And number one budget constraints are ranked the top challenge for the 4th straight year in a row. So where is this money coming from? Can we come up with unique or creative ways to build higher budgets to basically pay for everything? New headcounts, more technology, more maintenance, warranties, you name it. So we do have solutions here at SchoolDude to help you transform your IT team from good to great. And the thing about our solutions, and really any solution out there, if they know what they're doing, is the solution is never really complete. It's always changing. It's always being updated with new features, new functionalities. And so we have a brand new help desk solution, which we'll show you in just a little bit. We rolled it out or relaunched our help desk last summer. We've had several updates to it already, but we'll show you the up-to-date solution, and feel free to ask any questions as we kind of towards the end of the demonstration today. But yeah, we'll be talking to you about how to transform from good to great. So we want to help you save time, eliminate manual processes, help you automate things. Things that you're doing right now manually. If we can automate those processes, we're going to save you time, open you up to do other things, other more important things. Getting automatic notifications, talking about our smartphones being always connected, being notified via email understanding really quick, what's going on. Do I need to do something, or everything's good to go? Leverage data to be more proactive. With our solutions, you're going to be able to build all kinds of reports to help justify what you're doing. Do we need an additional person? Well, why? Do you have the data to prove it? Do we need? Do we order a bad set of laptops that are always having issues? Well, you have all the data to prove it. How many tickets are associated with maybe this model of computer? So you're leveraging data. You're being more proactive rather than being reactive. That's what we want to move away from. Create financial insights, so capturing all the budget information, tracking asset procurement and lifecycle data. When are you buying computers? When are they due for replacement? Are you tracking machines that you maybe donate for potential tax savings? Having a centralized database, one single pane of glass for everything, not only your IT assets, but also assets beyond IT. So really tracking anything that essentially has a plug, and not only things that connect to the internet, and maybe some things that are just fall under your roof, but aren't necessarily traditional IT. And having a configurable platform for your reporting. Now, reports from district to district, from school to school, university to university. You could say that most folks are going to run very similar reports, but folks are going to have to run tailored specific reports. So we have our solution here allows you to configure the platform for very succinct reporting that you need. And it's an ever evolving solution. So we're going to be building out kind of new ways to run reports, unveiling new data that you can track to run some very, very detailed reports that you can use in an actual live environment. And make data-driven decisions. We all want to trust our gut, but we want to be able to use the data to make those decisions, being able to tie tickets directly to assets. How many times have we worked on a computer? How many times have we worked on a Chromebook, a laptop, a desktop? Is it time to repair the machine, to replace the machine versus continuing to repair it? Is this an actual user error versus an actual hardware issue? Again, is it an issue with a set of computers, a model, a certain purchase? Maybe we ordered a bad shipment of computers. So use asset data to drive future decisions. Again, do we want to continue to buy from specific manufacturers if what they're giving us is garbage? Show the work your team is getting done or not getting done. Transparency is a good thing I'd say for people that are really savvy and want to do a good job. But transparency maybe is not good for those folks that kind of want to hide behind the scenes and not necessarily pull their weight. So show the work your team is getting done very, very easily, very quickly with reporting. All right, we have a couple screenshots real quick, and then we'll actually dive into the solution. We'll have plenty of time to dive in and kind of walk you through the entire platform. And again, feel free to ask questions so we can answer those at the tail end. So yeah, the whole idea here is saving time, eliminating manual processes with automation. We do have notifications or alerts that you could set up in our solution, so you could be notified of maybe tickets that are sitting in a specific status for a period of time, or maybe you need to follow up with the requester. A ticket has been submitted by a requester, you follow up with them, but you don't hear back. Well, you could be notified in our solution that a ticket's sitting in a waiting for more information status. Maybe you need to follow up with them again. Maybe it's time to close out the ticket if you haven't heard from them. But getting your automated notifications and using data to be more proactive, leveraging data to be more proactive. And creating these financial insights, as you see in the screenshot here, you can track on your assets with our asset management solution. You'll be able to track purchase date, purchase cost, vendor. You could track your funding source. You could actually track custom, you can load in a custom listing of funding sources. So what funds are used to purchase your various assets? and you'll be able to run reports against that. How many assets were purchased with E-rate funds, E-rate Category 2 funds, Title IX funds, whatever they might be. Replacement date, replacement cost, date removed, PO number. You can track all that information and run reports against this. If you want to run for replacement information, if you want to run a quick report to see how many computers were purchased in 2015 in this example here, or that were purchased several years ago, we need to monitor the warranty for older computers, and you'll be able to then leverage data to make decisions here. Now we have a whole list of graphs and dashboards. So let's be honest, nobody wants to necessarily go through list views upon list views of information. We want data to be kind of visualized so we can present it in very digestible ways. And that's what you can do with our solution here. We have a lot of reports you could generate. You could create PowerPoints off them. You could actually subscribe dashboards within our solution, create on-demand PDFs. So just using data to make decisions, be proactive. So with that said, let's go ahead and dive into the solution, and we'll give you a nice overview of it, and feel free to ask any questions. All right, so it should be connected to my screen share view right there. All right, so I'm actually going to pull up the requesters portal. Now, we do have a bunch of solutions here at SchoolDude to help out with operational management, kind of like we talked about earlier. We got tools to help out with work order management for maintenance, preventive maintenance. We have tools to help out with trip planning, help out with renting out space, event planning, and of course our IT help desk solution help with managing break-fix tickets and everything that's related to broken issues throughout the day as it relates to IT. Now we have a central portal for all of your requesters to go to make all of their requests. So if they do need to make a maintenance request, if they do need to make a trip request, if they need to schedule a room, or if they need to make an IT request, they're going to go to one single pane of glass. Now they're going to select the IT request tab, and it's going to take them to this page on the screen here. So this is what we call the request portal. And if you're familiar with help desk, you should be familiar with what a portal looks like. But I'm actually logged in as a requester right here. So we'll say I'm a teacher, and I have an issue. I'm going to go through, and I'm going to go ahead and select my work type. Now, if I know what my work type is, I can go ahead and just start typing. And we got the Google, or kind of like Google autocomplete. We go ahead and select a filter down list of items based on what we started typing out. Now, as we select our work type, if we scroll down, see that I have a questionnaire down here. And now these questions are related to my work type I selected up above. So this is designed to save everybody time. So for example, if we select the work type of Chromebook, and then you ask them questions, have you restarted the machine? Maybe if they restart it, it fixes the problem. They won't have to. Last month, if I've had the same problem, so rather than going and creating a new ticket right away, I could jump into the My Tickets tab and view my old tickets and see some information about them. So that is the requester's journey. We keep it really simple and straightforward. We don't want the requester to do too much. We want them to be able to get in and get out. Same thing holds true on the back end, which we'll dive into next. We don't want you spending all day in the help desk and managing everything in the help desk. So we want you actually managing your job as opposed to tinkering with cloud-based solutions all day. Now, this is our new help desk. This is the admin portal. And so we have basically three solutions in our technology portfolio. We have help desk, we have Insight, which is the network scanning asset inventory module, and then we have MDM, which is for iOS and Android management. And they all do intercommunicate. It's a fully integrated platform. We do have a single sign-on solution as well. So for the request portal, we integrate with Google or Active Directory, and what we can do is integrate with your directory service, and users don't have to remember an additional password to get in the SchoolDude. They can use our single sign-on solution to pass the credentials over into SchoolDude, where again they won't have to remember an additional password to get in. They'll pass their credentials right over here. But what you're seeing on the screen here is the admin dashboard. And we have user roles as well for back-end users. We have the admin role, which is the see all, do all role, can create users, can do everything. And then the admin can create sub-roles off the admin role, and you can control what those sub-roles can see and what they can do. You could create location-specific users, so if you want to lock someone down to a specific location, or if you want to turn off certain dashboards so they wouldn't be able to see them, or certain menu items. The user role section is very, very customizable, so that's kind of behind the scenes there. But this is the admin dashboard, and this is interactive. You can right-click these different dashboards. You can view the table. If you want to view the raw data, you can export the images. But this is open tickets, broken out by status. Open ticket assignment is a breakdown by tech. So who's got what, also broken down by status. And this can be interacted with. Bottom right-hand corner is 12 of the most recent tickets that came in. And the bottom left-hand corner is my open tickets broken out in a list view. So this is kind of like your 10,000-foot view of what's going on. We'll have the reports, which is reports dedicated dashboard, like a business intelligence dashboard. We'll cover that kind of at the tail end. Next, we'll dive into the ticket list. All right, we'll let that catch up real quick. All right, so you'll see on the left side, this is the navigation, how you navigate the different parts of the solution. And so just to explain this panel here, my tickets is going to be broken out in the top. I do have quite a few tickets, so pardon me. I need to clean out my workload here. I'll show you how to do that shortly. Tickets created today, tickets completed today. Here on this left panel, open unassigned tickets. Now you can set up the solution where you'll never have an open unassigned ticket. You can set up a default assignee if you'd like to. And that means that if there's any routing rules that are not set up for certain locations or certain work types, it'll always default to a specific assignee. All open tickets, all completed tickets, which you'll run a lot of reports in there, and I'll show you a few report examples shortly. All tickets, and then below that is a breakdown of the different work queues available. And now these are completely custom. You could create your own work queues, and you could route tickets to work queues. Again, the thing about work queues is you're adding multiple people to a queue. So for instance, the hardware team has multiple people associated with it. So any ticket assigned or routed to the hardware team work queue, multiple people are going to get notified. Whoever's available can pull a ticket out of the work queue, manage it, close it out, and then move on to the next one. So that's the main navigation here within the ticket list. But we're going to jump into the My Tickets tab, and we'll actually walk through closing out a ticket. So I just submitted my ticket here at the top. Of course, the ID is automatically created. This one's given at the top 1632-1632. So it's a quick ID to reference for the requester. But I'm going to go ahead and click the status column where it says new request. I just realized I don't believe you can see my mouse, but so I just clicked that cell there, and I'm going to go ahead and change it to a work in progress. Click out of it, and I'm going to go ahead and click save on the bottom. And what that's done is that sent a notification off to the requester letting them know that the ticket's being worked on. If you don't want the requester knowing every time the status just changed, simply turn off that notification. They don't have to see it. Now, if I need to reassign this maybe to one of my colleagues, since I have so many tickets today, I can reassign it to Eric, or I can reassign it to my colleague Chris, or maybe they're specialized. I can also move it to a work queue so other people can see it as well. That group can see it. But we'll go ahead and dive into the ticket here. Scroll down a little bit. Yeah, most of this was either entered by the requester. Most of this information you see was entered by the requester or was automatically populated by the system. So the ID is system populated. We have ITIL compliant statuses. These statuses can be customized. So if you want to remove certain statuses, if you're not using them, keep it minimal. Priority is going to be set. It's going to auto set at medium. We're going to be adding predetermined VIP or VIP level priorities at some point. But right now, everything is prioritized at medium. But this will allow you to update or prioritize your tickets, your ticket workload. So if something's low, something's critical or high, make sure that priority matches the physical priority of the ticket. Where did this come from? This came from the request portal. We do have email to ticket as well, FYI. So that is another way to get tickets or initiate tickets in the system is through an email. You can also click new on the bottom to create a ticket. So if somebody does stop by your office, somebody stops you in the hall, you can open up the help desk on your phone, on a tablet, on a computer, and you can generate a new ticket right here. It's a very mobile-friendly website, but we will be moving to mobile responsive design, or we'll be rolling out a mobile app very soon. But yeah, so we have created on date, updated on, last updated by. You can run reports on these different dates available. Once the ticket is completed, you'll see a completed on and a completed by field. Again, you can run reports. How many tickets were completed on a specific month or a specific day in the month? Ticket details, these were entered by the requester, so the work type, the description, the location, questionnaire. This one was not required, but we can make these required, so again, the requester does have to enter something here. Contact information if we need to call them for a quick update. We got all their information right here. And then below that is budget information. The main piece I want to point out, again, is the inventory asset. This is where I tied the actual Chromebook to the ticket. Now, with the inclusion of our Insight tool, I can actually click the Chromebook or click the asset, printer, monitor, non-network or non-discoverable device, and I can actually dig into it. I can see that, hey, this Chromebook has 77 tickets historically associated with it. Again, are these hardware issues or are these user-related issues? We do track warranties again, so you'll be able to see if there's any warranties associated with the computer. You can dig into the Overview tab. We can see when it was purchased, funds were used to purchase it, how much did it cost, is it due up for replacement soon? If so, well, maybe it's time to take advantage of that warranty. So just tying that asset to the ticket, and you're creating that total cost of ownership. You can also track budgets. You can track purpose codes, which are like subcategories. Again, if somebody does call in or email you directly or stop you in the hallway mugging, stopped in the hallway, call in. These are like subcategories. If a computer or device has accidental damage versus something vandalism related, or user error, something's user related, you can track stuff as a subcategory. Now, requesters cannot see this. So this is just a way for you to further categorize the tickets. And then, yeah, at the top, you'll notice we have different tabs. We have an assignment history tab. So you can see who the ticket's been assigned to historically, whether it's a system routing rule or if it was a manual routed rule. We work with clients big and small, so 1 and 2 person IT shops all the way to 50, 60 people. So this is just the entire assignment history of the ticket. Also the status history, which statuses has it been in? If we need to follow up with the requester, we can add a note right to the ticket here. So if we have a question for them, we can go ahead and type it in there. Now, your notes can be public or private, so you have the ability to make notes public by checking a box. If you do not check it, which is the default, it'll add a private note to the ticket. The requester cannot see it. But we'll go ahead and mark this as a public note, apply it. And now what we could do is we can put this into a waiting for more information status. Now, if we're ready to complete it, we go ahead and add a new note. Now, I would say be as detailed as you can with your notes. That way, you could go back and search for your completion notes and resolutions, and that might apply to future issues. But we'll go ahead and apply this. So we close this out, and now the ticket has been marked complete. You'll notice the completed on date has been filled out, the completed by has been filled out, and the ticket's been resolved with a resolution. Now, not every, or a lot of folks we speak to do not track labor, do not track purchases, but we do speak to a lot of folks that do. So you can track your labor, you can track your purchases, relate it all back to the ticket, which will, again, be related back to the asset. And then you can add attachments as well. So that's how to close out a ticket. So I'm on to my next one. I have a little arrow here, and I could go ahead and start managing my second ticket here and kind of keep moving on through my queue. All right, and so just a couple more pieces here, and then we'll move into a QA. So big piece, and a lot of people is going to be reporting. We've talked to a lot of folks that use free solutions or have homegrown solutions, or who has a solution, but their reporting is not up to snuff. It's not really what they're looking for. It's really hard to build out reports. We have a filtering logic tool here at the top, and that's how you build out your reports. So if I want to go ahead and maybe run a quick location-specific report, I could right-click my location column, specific cell. I'm going to right-click elementary school, for example. We're going to click Show Matching. And so now here's a quick list of all tickets in the elementary school. I'm going to right-click a status of complete, click Show Matching. And now here's all tickets completed in the elementary school. So maybe we'll want to break this down additionally to completed on, that field I showed you earlier. So let's say completed within the last. And let's say we want to see all completed tickets in elementary school within the last 30 days. So there's a quick report for you. Now we can pin this report down. We could save this report. By pinning it down, that becomes our default filter. By saving it, that means we can click this drop-down menu and we can access it at a future date. So lots of options for building reports. Another report a lot of people like building, kind of a funny one, is a squeaky wheel report. If you have anybody maybe sending in an abnormally large amount of tickets, we can run a quick report based on reported by. How many tickets has this user reported in? We want to add a date range. How many times have they reported in the last week, last 2 weeks? Maybe we want to report on work type. How many network connectivity issues have we had? Additionally, how many network connectivities have we had created on within the last? Again, we'll just use 30 days as an idea here. How many network connectivity issues have we had in the last 30 days? How many email issues have we had within the last 30 days? So very easy to build out these reports, and you're just using data to justify certain things. Not a lot of email issues here. So why change? Why change what's not messed up? But why fix what's not broken, as the old adage says. So really two other parts really quick. I know we're kind of running a little bit low on time here. We want to get to a Q&A. The next part is a reports dashboard. And this is brand new. This was in our latest release in March. And this is your business intelligence dashboard. And so we'll dive into one real quick. We'll actually build out our scope. And this is for the last 30 days. And with your scopes, you have full customization on the right side. You'll see that this one's for 30 days, but we could change this to 45 days, or we could break it down to, a 7-day period. But at the top is a ticket created timeline. So this is kind of sort of a heat map for where your hotspots are as far as tickets go across the month. You'll see the day of the month at the bottom of the screen. Maybe you're getting a lot of tickets midweek, but they start dying down at the end of the week. You'll obviously see where the week ends, where the line hits the bottom of the graph here. What are your hotspots as far as work types go? What are people having the most issues with? Laptops? With data, do we need to replace laptops? Do we want to dumb them down a little bit so folks aren't having as much issues? Chromebook issues, network connectivity, email issues, and you'll be able to see your hotspots. Tickets created by status over the last month, how many have been completed, how many are still new requests, how many were actually canceled by the requester, how many are sitting in a work in progress or waiting for more information status, how many tickets were emailed in versus created by the help desk versus actually created through that request portal I showed you earlier. So we would say this being blue here on the bottom right would be the optimal situation. You want most of your folks using the request portal. So you're going to get the most information. What's the priority of all of our tickets? So we have a few critical, a few high, a few low, a few very low, a lot of mediums. Nothing looking crazy. And then also hotspot as far as how many tickets are created by location. Like we have a few with unassigned locations, so we want to make sure that our reporting is accurate, make sure we assign those to locations. But we can see here the high school and the elementary school, that's where a lot of our tickets are coming from. It's a nice business intelligence dashboard for you. And we'll be adding additional, again, like I said earlier, this help desk is never going to be complete. We're continuing to make changes, updates to it. So what you see today is going to be improved upon big time. Now the last section is going to be the alerts section, which is one of my favorite sections here. It's in the setup menu. It's kind of hidden, but it's hidden because you set these up. It's basically a set it and forget it type situation. You could set up alerts for tickets created yesterday that hadn't been touched yet. So making sure that nothing gets swept under the rug, so to speak, accidentally. Tickets that are maybe older than 3, 4, 5 days old. This one will notify you for tickets that are older than 5 days. Below that is one for tickets older than 10 days. We have tickets sitting in a specific priority status. So critical tickets, I want to be notified of any tickets that are sitting in that status. We have tickets related to a specific problem type, network-related, email-related tickets, tickets waiting for more information. We need to follow up with the requester with a subset of our tickets. And these are all custom, and working with our implementation team, our support team, they'll help give you some ideas on some different alerts you could create. All you do is dive into one of these, or you click new on the bottom. You set up the alert, set up your filter criteria, subscribe to them, and then they'll hit your inbox or anybody on your team's inbox that needs to be notified of an alert. Let me go ahead and finish it. But yeah, so that is our help desk. Again, we do have a full technology management solution. It's help desk, Insight, as well as MDM. So if you have any questions, we can take a deeper dive in the help desk with a future demonstration. I have a couple polls coming up here shortly, and so I'll put those on the screen so everyone can take those. We can always follow up with you and have a one-on-one demonstration. But again, we have our help desk solution. Insight is asset management, a network scanning technology that does have importing, and it's your single pane of glass for your technology assets and beyond, and then MDM is going to be for iOS and Android management, and fully integrated, all three solutions. All right, so back to just a couple more items here. So I do have a couple poll questions next, and I'm going to go ahead and advance to the next slide here. So would you like to learn more about Dude Solutions or Technology Essentials platform? So we'll give that about 10, 15, 20 seconds or so. Go ahead and submit that in. And we'd love to show you, and we do tailored demonstrations. So, today was kind of a catch-all type demonstration, but we can do tailored demonstrations as well to answer any personal questions you have and use cases you might have internally. We'll give that about 10 more seconds. All right. And we'll move on to the next one. So simply, would you like for us to contact you directly with more information? We could give you just some basic, we have a lot of data sheets, a lot of information on the website, resources. You might be interested in other operational solutions that we have. So if you simply want us to reach out to you, just let us know. So, we'll give it about 20 seconds or so. All right, so the next slide, just really quick, guys, we do have professional development. Every single year we have what's called Dude University, and it's a way for current clients to come see new solutions, or current clients to come talk about their existing solutions, maybe issues that they're having. We have learning sessions, we have a lot of speakers. So really it's a professional development that we do every single year. And we'd love to have you. It's here. We're based right outside of Raleigh, North Carolina, and we had it at first inaugural Raleigh one was last year, and it was a great showing. We had a lot of great feedback. So we're doing it again here in Raleigh, and it's May 5th through 8th, 2019. So just wanted to kind of get that in your ear right now. And again, we'd love to have you. Love to see you. If you're not currently a client, I'd love to talk to you about SchoolDude, Dude Solutions, but if you're currently using us and you want to maybe expand your offering, or just have a conversation about best practices, that's what the whole shebang's about. So, but Andrew, back to you, sir.
All right. Well, thank you so much, Josh, for a great demonstration of the product. I think you really stepped it out very, very well for us as to how the product works and how it's integrated. So thank you for that. We do have about 10 minutes left for some of the questions that have come in. And Josh, I'm going to start with a question that came in from, I'm going to just push this to the slide area, question that came in from Shannon that talks about the possibility of creating child tickets and automatically assigning them to staff based on the input of a field in the ticket. And she used as an example, and I'm picking this up from the group chat, example, she said a ticket that gets created from the main service request based on how the customer answered a field. And as an example, a new employee might come on board and enters faculty in the field, and that would then create a separate ticket and assign it to curriculum designers, for instance, to create their accounts in the LMS and the instructional design system. Is that something which is possible?
So as far as the routing rules, it could be routed directly to an individual based on something contained in the description. But as far as parent-child tickets, that's a piece of data, that's a piece of feedback that we've received ever since I've been at the Dude. We're actually rolling out parent-child tickets in our next release. So that's something that's coming very shortly.
Okay. All right, great. Thank you. And could you talk a little bit about the question here from someone who's just looking into these kinds of products and wanted to know if SchoolDude would be appropriate for it. So can you talk about the kind of size schools and districts that you typically work with? Give us a sense of what the breadth of.
Absolutely.
Could you do? Sure.
Yeah. Sure. So yeah, I mean, really, it's if you're in education, we'll work with you. There's really no limit as far as the size goes. We have a client in Alaska that I think has about 12 students, but that's a very much extreme example. We work with a lot of rural districts all over the country, and they might have anywhere from 300, 400, 500 students to 1,500. But then we go up to 5,000, 10,000, 15,000. I've talked to school districts with 35,000 to 50,000. We work with LA Unified. They're one of the biggest districts in the nation. Wake County District's a local district. We work with them, local to Raleigh. So we're a very scalable solution. We work with educational organizations, very much small and big. And it doesn't matter the type of organization either. You could be higher education, you could be private school, charter school, public school, doesn't matter.
Okay, all right. And I'm just going to ask a follow-up question that came in about this is in terms of how the Dude Solutions support team is structured. And so if I'm a customer, how would I receive support from you guys?
Yeah, so we have support via phone, which is my preferred method, with a technical solution with SaaS software. Typically good to call somebody and walk through. We can have like a screen sharing session. But we do have email support. We have chat support as well. So if it's something that's not super time sensitive, you can just start one of our chats and we'll work with you that way.
Okay. All right, great. And I have a question that came in from Nicholas, who wants to know what separates the SchoolDude solution from a product like Spiceworks, for instance.
Well, Spiceworks is free, number one. So and we do talk to clients either using Spiceworks or evaluating Spiceworks. I'd say where we get the biggest differentiation is going to be with our reporting and our support, I would say. Spiceworks, since it's a free solution, I think they have advertising in their software, but the reporting is very lackluster from what I've heard. And they don't really have a team on demand that you could just call with any questions. Also being a free solution, our development team is actually on the first floor of our company. We're an agile development shop, and we have a very detailed roadmap that we have releasing with something new that's not really receiving any funding. I can't imagine it being too much of a solution that's going to really advance and really become like an enterprise level solution, which is what we're becoming is an enterprise level solution for educational pricing. I think it's the best way to put it.
Okay. All right, great. No, well, thank you for explaining that. Now, during the course of your demonstration, you talked about the various component products of Technology Essentials. Can you explain a little bit about how those products are integrated together and work together? Could you just explain that a little bit further?
Yeah, absolutely. So typically problems come in as a break-fix problem. So that's going to come in through the help desk. It's either going to be created by the user through an email or through the request portal we showed. And now from that point on an actual ticket, you can tie an asset to the ticket. So you're creating a relationship between the actual printer, the computer, integrates with our mobile device management system because you can that'll keep track of all your mobile devices. And if you have any problems as it relates to an iPad, an Android device, and an iPhone, you can relate that back to the ticket as well. So you're simply just relating a physical piece of hardware to the ticket in the system, and then you can go back in time and see, how many times have we worked on this iPhone? How many times have we worked on this, an older iPhone or an older computer? And then that'll give you that big picture of how often have we worked on something? Is it time to replace it versus continue to repair it?
Okay. All right. Thank you. We have, as far as I'm just looking at our line of questions here, we have one more question that's in the queue. We've got 4 minutes left. If anyone has one other question that they want to get in very quickly, now would be the time to do it. But Josh, the question that I still have in front of me relates to the work queues. And can you explain a little bit, what's the best way you found to organize work queues?
Yeah, so work queues, I think, are best organized in probably 2 different ways, either by type of work. So you want your work queues to be kind of broad, so you can have like a network work queue that could be related to multiple items under network. You can have a hardware work queue. Hardware could be related to Chromebooks, can be related to peripheral, anything that's a piece of hardware. And then you can have a software work queue related to anything related to software. Those are going to be the 3 biggest things. And then I'd say the 4th one that could be very useful or important is now if you do have like a tech resource team, if you have like a tier 1 support team, we have a lot of clients we speak to that they have a student helping team, or they have some part-time work or consultants that do work. You can create like a consulting group team. You could create a student help team or a part-time or tier 1 support group, and where all basic tickets would get routed to that one work queue, whereas everything else, your hardware, software, networking would get routed to those different work queues. The other way I would suggest setting it up would maybe be based on location, and that could be, if you're a small shop, no need to do it based on location, but if you're working in multiple different campuses and locations, you could build out like location-specific work queues. So if I'm in location A, I want to get all tickets in that location. If I'm in location B, I want to get all tickets in that location.
Okay. All right, great. Thank you. Well, that is all the time really we have left today. We have gone through the hour. So thank you to the audience for the questions that came in. And, as we wrap up today, I want to thank you again, Josh, for an excellent presentation. And I'd also like to thank SchoolDude for its support today. And one final reminder before we all head out in our separate ways, we will be sending out an email to all attendees when the recording of the webinar is ready. So thank you, and this concludes today's webcast. Goodbye.
All right, thank you, everyone.